must inform America what he's trying to tell us by continuing to do this dance. And now, making YMCA his anthem. And look, it's a new year, a new administration, and I say clean slate. I'm not going to keep rehashing the bit I did so many times last year where I played the video of Trump doing the dance and saying it looked like he was jerking off two guys at the same time. Even though it looks exactly like he's jerking.
Things have gotten so heated in the reality show known as America because President Donald Trump has finally lost his mind. This happened when Bill Maher took the stage and confronted and exposed Trump on live TV. Now, we all know Maher isn't exactly the shy and reserved type, so when he had the chance to go full throttle on live TV, let's just say things got interesting.
What is he trying to tell us? And I'm not saying Donald Trump is secretly gay. It doesn't look like much of a secret. No, I'm kidding. No. I don't think he is gay. Quite the contrary. I think the message to his manosphere is that he's so masculine that he can literally jerk off two guys at once while dancing to the Village People.
Donald Trump has a funny way of picking favorites. The countries America has been cool with for years, like the UK and France. He treats them like they owe him money. But the ones the US has had, let's say, complicated relationships with, like Russia and Saudi Arabia, he's giving them VIP treatment. And when it comes to world leaders, Trump has a type. If they're the kind of guy who stays in power a little too long and doesn't take criticism well, Trump is their biggest fan. Meanwhile, Europe, he talks about it like a man complaining to his wife that the food isn't spicy enough, like pure disappointment.
The defense budget is higher than the next 9 countries combined. It's more than triple that of our biggest adversary, China, and 8.5 times that of our closest ally, Russia. The Pentagon itself says it has 19% more bases than it needs. Wouldn't it be efficient to close some of those? The 750 bases in 80 countries we have around the world, we need every one. No place to fire up the old chainsaw there.
But if there's one thing Trump loves more than putting his name on random things, it's acting like he's a financial genius. Bill Maher puts it best. Trump's only good at managing one set of numbers, his golf score. And even that is suspicious, because the second he got control of the economy, it didn't just slip, it crashed harder than a guy trying to ride a bike for the first time in 20 years. And of course, according to Trump, none of it was his fault. This makes me wonder whose fault it's supposed to be. Mine?
$5 trillion in 3 weeks. Yes, Trump, he's the Ozempic of the economy. Wow. 5 trillion. Today, Greenland offered to buy us. There are CEOs out there begging Luigi Mangione to shoot them in the back of the head.
Bill Maher lays it all out. Trump's policies, his big promises, and what actually happened when he was in charge the first time. Spoiler alert, the only people who truly benefited were the ones already winning. Maher doesn't hold back, calling Trump a master of illusions. He says Trump ran the US economy the same way he ran his businesses, with blind confidence, unpaid bills, and the grace of a drunk guy playing Monopoly.
And finally, new rule, before leaving this election behind, we must all thank Donald Trump for the one good thing he did. He exposed evangelicals, who are big Trump supporters, as the shameless hypocrites they've always been. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but Republicans didn't get to play the Jesus card this time around because it's hard to bring up the 10 Commandments when your candidate spent his life breaking all of them.
But what he says next will blow your mind. He says Trump hotels are overpriced and overhyped. Trump steaks? Tougher than a landlord chasing rent on the first of the month. Trump University? Shut down for fraud. And let's not forget his casinos, because who actually loses money running a casino? That's like burning rice with too much water in the pot. And yet, Trump handled America's economy with the same strategy: big talk, bad math, and a shocking ability to avoid blame. The national debt skyrockets by trillions, market instability hits new highs, and workers see no real wage growth. But if you ask Trump, it was the greatest economy ever. Like a chef who burns every meal but still insists he's a 5-star cook. Everyday Americans struggled to afford basics, but Trump's biggest concern was finding new ways to put his name on things that don't need it.
Trump's commandments are like the regular commandments with LOL at the end. Adultery? Check. Cursing?
Listen, you motherfuckers.
Check. Stealing? Check. Bearing false witness?
Wrong.
Check. False idols? Oh, yeah. He is the world's least godly man. Jesus saw the good in whores and lepers, but if he met Donald Trump, he'd go, "Sorry, man, that's a pre-existing condition."
Trump claims he built the strongest economy in history, but when you look at the actual numbers, it's like someone bragging about their brand new car, only for the engine to fall out before they leave the lot. The economy's growth, crawling at 2.3%, even slower than Obama's 2.9%, the stock market, managed to lose over $5 trillion in 3 weeks. And the national debt? It shot up like one of his tweet rants, jumping from $19.9 trillion to $27.7 trillion. And that's not even the thing that blows our minds. It's the fact that Trump keeps repeating, "It was perfect, it was amazing, it was the best." Bill Maher's responds to this and says that if the only people benefiting from Trump's economy are billionaires and hedge fund managers, maybe it's not the best after all.
And finally, new rule: the Trump administration and its elite squad of Marvel Universe mutant budget Avengers known as Doge must tell us what happened to going after the military.
Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. And, you know, the people elected me on that.
Well, today they reported back on what they found when they checked the military, and it wasn't hundreds of billions or even billions. It was...
Maher wastes no time exposing the financial disaster that is Trump's economic leadership, the era where giving massive tax cuts to billionaires was somehow supposed to help the middle class. But in reality, all it did was make the rich richer, while the average American tried to figure out if dinner would be instant noodles again.
And finally, new rule: Trump fans have to admit that of all the lies he vomits on a daily basis, the one that makes you look the dumbest is this.
On day one, we will begin working on an impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border wall.
You can believe anything else, but give me this one. Just admit you got conned when you actually thought that Blob the Builder was going...
Trump promised economic greatness, yet under his watch, businesses shut down, wages barely moved, and prices skyrocketed. And let's be honest, trusting Trump with the economy was always a gamble. This is the same man who ran multiple businesses into the ground and still called himself a financial genius. Maher has no problem reminding everyone that Trump's big idea to fix trade was slapping tariffs on anything that moved, without the slightest clue how tariffs actually work. In Trump's world, taxing imports was some genius strategy to punish other countries.
Union, the former Soviet Union. Unlike some people, he always says thank you. Europe, your ancestors left for a reason.
Oh, my God.
Watch out for Canada, the quiet, polite neighbor you never suspect. I want you to cut dictators some slack.
American businesses and consumers also paid the price, but Trump still called it a win. Meanwhile, farmers were drowning in losses. Businesses were struggling, and anyone who tried to explain basic economics to him got that classic blank stare, like a toddler pretending to understand their parents' instructions. And, of course, no Trump economic discussion is complete without his favorite subject, himself. According to him, no one had ever managed the economy better. Not Obama, not FDR, not even the guy who invented America's financial system. Just Trump. When he speaks, he makes it sound like the economy was so good, birds started investing in real estate and trees began paying taxes.
Look, I believe government is too bloated, but the way they're doing it is ridiculous and horrible. And now they went, maybe this is the one that's too far. They went and fired almost everybody in the agency that's responsible for maintaining our nuclear weapons. Fired. And then, of course, they had to walk that back because somebody said this is a national security crisis. Duh. I mean, we were... It's ironic. We were so scared that the government was going to turn into The Handmaid's Tale.
This from a man who couldn't sell vodka to Americans. That's like opening a barbecue joint in Texas and going bankrupt because people just didn't like ribs. But sure, financial genius of the century. Meanwhile, regular Americans just wanted affordable groceries, but all they got were billionaire tax cuts and higher prices. At this point, they're less concerned about the economy and more focused on whether they can still afford bread or if they'll have to start eating it with imagination.
Have power, it allows you to get more power. And now they have all the power. That's not good. I'm not sure we will ever see another election. The mindset...
You really worry about
Trump's third term? I said it about the first Trump term, and he did exactly what I thought. He tried to stay in power by every means possible. Luckily, there were still Republicans, and court people who stopped him. But, that's what a lot of my editorials when he was out of office were like, oh, you know what he's doing behind the scenes now is he's replacing those people who stopped him last time with loyalists, which is what he has been doing. And
Trump's strategy isn't about winning elections anymore. It's about making sure elections don't matter. Power begets power, and once you have enough of it, the rules become optional. That's exactly what he's been doing, quietly replacing anyone who once stood in his way with die-hard loyalists.
He's a kooky guy who says a lot of kooky things, and I'm just not going to pre-hate anything. I'm just going to hope for the best, and then when something serious happens, I'll comment on that. Otherwise, I have new rules and monologue as a place in the show every week to talk about invading Greenland and annexing Canada and other stuff that's perfect for comedy, but I'm not going to take it seriously.
The mindset of his most devoted followers is that they believe America is in such danger from the radical left that keeping Trump in power isn't just a preference, it's a duty. If democracy has to take a little pause, so be it. He claims he's defending freedom, but the freedom he's defending is the kind where he gets to tweet nonsense at 3 a.m. while everyone else loses healthcare, and somehow his fans still think he's playing 4D chess, when really he's just flipping the board and yelling that he won. They're chanting his name and joking about Trump 2028, 2032 forever. Sure, it's a joke now, but what's to say later? With a hand-picked attorney general, a vice president who nods at everything, and a legal team that could probably argue that the sun sets because Trump allows it, all it takes is the right loophole. Next thing you know, the Constitution is open to interpretation, and America has a leader who just never leaves, like my uncle who came for Christmas and somehow never went home.
That dissects a frog with a hand grenade. This is their method. Yeah, America's in shock that the guy whose catchphrase was "you're fired" is firing everybody in government. He wants to suck our blood? That is not what I voted for when I voted for Dracula. Maybe this is why Gen Z's approval rating of Trump has dropped 30 points in 1 month. Hey.
Maher confirms that Trump's strategy has never been about competence, it's about confidence. He doesn't need facts when he has the art of distraction. Every failure magically becomes a success. Every setback is just fake news. And if the numbers don't add up, well, that's just deep state math. His supporters nod along, treating every disastrous policy like it's part of a genius long-term plan, even if the only long-term goal seems to be keeping Trump in charge forever. The economy? Sure, it's booming, but only if you count billionaires. The deficit? Trump acted like it was no big deal, kind of like ignoring a leaking roof because the floor isn't wet yet, because in Trump's America, reality is optional. Facts? Optional. Math? Definitely optional. Spray tans? Mandatory. And you won't even believe this part. The economy was a mess, but it didn't matter because the brand was strong. America was running on vibes, not proper leadership because Trump offers none. And now as history starts to rewrite itself, one thing is clear. The show isn't over. It's just getting started, so like and subscribe so you do not miss any of our daily updates.